But today I want to talk about something that nobody ever talks about. I definitely did it the wrong way. And this idea sparked in my head about a week and a half ago. And today's my dear friend Ralphie May's birthday. He would have been, I don't know how old it would have been. It doesn't make a difference. He's dead 4 years today. So I don't know how long this podcast is going to last, just because I've had problems with this for the last couple of days. I'm going to get it together and talk to you about this. And I'm fine now. Anyway, what happened was this. We've lost, I don't know how many numbers to COVID. I can't even start to count or the calculations. I don't know if it's real or not. I know one thing is real. Death is real. Whether you died of a bullet wound or you died of COVID, they put COVID on your thing. It doesn't really matter. This is not what this podcast is about today. This podcast is about learning how to deal with a loss, with mourning. I think right now, listen, I could bring you over my house and show you my emails, my Facebook and my Patreon. And I will make this bet. I will make this bet with you guys that I will bet $50 that every day the last 6 months, except for maybe 3 days, I have gotten a fucking email from somebody telling me that either they lost a grandmother, a father, a mother to cancer, or not cancer, I'm so sorry, COVID, every fucking day since, let's just play it since April. I could guarantee you, I'll bet 10 of you, $50, that if you go through my Patreon, you're going to find a death every day except maybe 3 or 4 days. If you don't think this takes a toll on a guy like me, you're wrong. I know where you're coming from. When you send me that email, I know exactly where the fuck you're coming from, because I was that person. I hope you guys never forget that. And I was 16. What's this show? Alone and Naked in an Island? Naked in the Yeah, fuck that. I was alone in 16 when I found that woman on the fucking floor, okay? And just that alone is enough to traumatize anybody. It's the reason why I stopped doing blow, because I didn't want this great woman that I have as a wife to find my fat fucking ass, 400-pound ass on the floor. She would have never recovered from it. How do I know? Because I know what it takes to recover from that. Half of you's found your parents. Half of you's got a chance to say goodbye. My dear friend, I talk him off a fucking rope once a month, because his mom died in Florida and they had to say goodbye on FaceTime. I know I make a lot of jokes and stuff, but that's my way of dealing with fucking mourning. You don't deal with mourning by fucking going to somebody's house crying. You deal with mourning by walking into somebody's house with a face of a man, and you're controlled, because if you're controlled, then that'll control them. Eventually you'll break down like I did here, but it's mourning. It takes time. And if you don't do it right, you will end up like I did, in a 27-year addiction or a bad relationship, because you didn't deal with the death. How do I know this? Let's go to what started this whole thing. About a week ago, maybe 10 days ago, I was on the phone with my dear friend Steve Avillo. He's been on the podcast before. And we were talking. And he was, I hope he doesn't get mad at me for repeating this online. He said that he was stressed when his wife was pregnant, because what if he died and left his wife and kid the way his dad had passed? And he said that he never dealt with it. And I had to stop him right there. I go, Avils, your dad died a year before my mom. Your dad died in 78. My mom died in 79. I go, what did you expect us to do? We did what we knew how to do. was going back to being a kid. Do you understand me? We went back to being a kid. Like, I buried my wife, my wife, God forbid. I buried my mom and went to the playground. Like, I went to like a little thing. We ate cold cuts or whatever. And right from there, you know, you resume life. You know, when you're 30 and when you're 40 and somebody dies, you feel more of an impact. But when you're young, you go back to your activities. You were going to suck Susie's titties at the prom Thursday night. You know, I'm going back to sucking on Susie's titties Thursday night, you know. And what do? So we sweep that thing under the carpet, and what happens is you deal with people all day long, right? You deal with people all day long, and when does that thought creep up on you? At night. At night, when you're alone, and it's just you and your thoughts. Oh my God, that's when you remind, I swear to God, for me, that's how it was. I dove myself into my friends so much that, you know, 8 in the morning, we're on a bus, going to school, high school. I had a job, Rendell Lumber. After Rendell Lumber, I was home very lightly, a shower, eat, gone again, because I didn't want my mind to settle, because if I settled, I would think of my mom's death, and I'd make me want to kill myself. I didn't know how to deal with it. You want me to tell you when it came back to bite me in the ass? And now you understand my story a little better. It came back to bite me in the ass 5 years later in 1984. Remember when I told you I ended up homeless? Why do you think I ended up homeless? Well, that year is where that emotion came out. You know, all through those years, I was Johnny Rocco. I was with my buddies, Stinky, Fernie, Pelly. We're out every night. We're doing this, we're doing that. You're getting your dick sucked. I'm on Colorado with Jimmy Burkle. I'm having a great time. Finally, something was wrong with me in 84. It was like, I didn't know what it was. And, you know, the pain was dying to come out. The pain, it was in there, but I kept tucking it in. The pain was there, but something wasn't right. I went to visit my uncle. He brought up some memories. And guys, after that, I fucking spun out of control. Any drug, every pill, you know, whatever I needed to take to kill that pain. It was, and I didn't know what it was. I was 20 fucking years old. I didn't know what pain thought. I had no idea that pain, once you set that pain loose inside your body, what do you think fucking happens? You don't care. So I didn't care. And when I finally realized that I've told you stories about my mother. I saw them put her in the ground, and I would still go to my house at night just to see if it was a mistake. I would still go to my house at night to see if her light was on. That's how fucked up I was. And right now, all these, I'm not saying all these that listen to the podcast, but most of these know people or maybe have a relative that has passed. And you're going through this exact thing right now. You're throwing everything at it so you don't realize what's going on, that you're in pain. Eventually, you're going to have to pay the piper. You could either pay me now or pay me later. Well, my payment started in 1984, and it didn't end until 2007. And I threw more pain on top of it. I threw the pain of my divorce. I threw the pain of not seeing my kid. You know, anytime pain stuck, it would lift all those feelings up. It would lift all those emotions up. And what happens when you lift all those emotions up? What's the only thing that can take care of that? Forget that. It was more like, you know, that's what happens. That's what happens. You got to keep that pain low. So I did it completely the wrong way. And even today, between Ralphie and Brody, I won't accept it. I just won't accept it. I have not taken Brody's number out of here, okay? Not because I'm a scumbag. I just haven't. I can't. You know, people kept thinking, oh, look, Ralphie, right there. Ralphie, right there. You know, it's not, I'm not ready yet. And today, him being his birthday, I'm happy that this fell on, what's it say there? Brody. I'm not lying to you motherfuckers. I'm the biggest pussy when it comes to mourning because I don't want to deal with it because it brings up Anthony Balzano. It brings up Denora Valdez. It brings up Dominic Special. It brings up anybody else who's died. You understand me? So that's why I don't like dealing with it. But now he's been dead for 4 years. It's time for me to sit down and write about Ralphie and what he meant to me and what he wanted from me. And I knew that I know for a fact, if that couch was a fucking hospital bed and I walked in there, I know what Ralphie would say to me and what he'd want me to do with the rest of my life. And I did that. I did that.